Trump. The Dow went up 1,500 points yesterday, but closed flat today.
What does a Trump presidency mean for your investments? Joining us now is the CEO of wealth management group, Craig Bolanos. Craig, thanks for being with us. Let's start with the fact that the markets have been in record territory for quite a while now. How sustainable do you think that is?
Yeah, everybody wants to know if this is a game changer for stock markets, Ben. And here's the truth. It's kind of a mixed bag. It's yes and no. The market's already at new highs, but the truth is the market is starting to price in an extension of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. And you know what that means? This rally could continue through year end. There's an old trader's analogy. New highs tend to make new highs.
All right, as we look at Donald Trump's platform, do you start to get a sense of what sectors of the economy will do very well under a Trump presidency and maybe might do poorly under his presidency?
Yeah, I think there's going to be winners and losers, and the market makes up its own mind. Is the market right? Not necessarily. Sometimes it's wrong, but the market views President Trump's agenda as being pro-growth. I mean, deregulation, tax cuts, a refocus on America. And you know what that means? Small company stocks, defense companies, energy, banks, and insurance companies, they all stand to benefit. Who are the obvious losers? You saw it in trading activity yesterday and today. You know, U.S. importers and specifically China, as there could be some changes to our trade policies and tariffs that might come down the pipe in 2025.
Yeah, let's get to his campaign promise for big tariffs for imports from China. How could tariffs impact consumers here in the U.S.?
Well, you know, America is about free men and free women and just allowing markets to move naturally. And whether tariffs are going to be put into play, a lot of people need to remember that there's not unchecked powers to do this. We actually have legal treaties, trade with a lot of countries. But if there are significant tariffs that come through, you may end up finding some inflationary pressures coming back. And that means consumers might pay more money in certain areas based on where those goods and services are being rendered from.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about that because we know the market's doing well right now, but some experts, analysts are predicting or talking about possible volatility in 2025. Paint a picture for me as to what that would mean, what that could look like.
Well, you know what? I'm excited still about the soft landing, the possibility of a no landing. We need to remember that we just got our second round of interest rate cuts from the Fed. All of that puts us on a sustainable pathway towards growth. That being said, what the pundits are really talking about are the threat of potentially rising Treasury yields, because anytime one party has all the votes in Congress, it's easier to pass legislation. That could mean deficits and trade balances widen. Put that on the back of what Ben just mentioned, some possible changes to trade. I think it leads to a recipe where there's more pops and possibly more drops for traders and investors in 2025.
Real quickly, also promises of big tax cuts. How will that impact most Americans, and will everybody see a tax cut, I guess, is the key question.
Well, you know, the Tax Cut and Jobs Act is what we're operating under now, and it has lowered marginal tax rates across the board, provided qualified business income deductions, QBIDs to many small business owners. And we're going to have to see if there's enough votes to renew the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. I think the real question, Ben and Lourdes, is there going to be an expansion to it? There's been talk about bolstering the child tax credit from both candidates that were running for the Oval Office, along with some other significant tax changes like not taxing Social Security, not taxing overtime, not taxing tips. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough votes to work those things in, but if there's anything, it's going to shake up the system, I think, and make for a lot of newsworthy comments getting into January and February of next year.
It means we're going to talk to you again, I have a feeling. Thank you, Craig Bolanos. We appreciate your time. You can check out Wealth Management Group in Inverness and Downers Grove and online at investwithwmg.com.